Check one. Check one. Check two. Check one, check two. We're live. We're live. We're live. Welcome, white people of America and Canada. You are not a racist. You are who you are. Forever and ever. Ba, 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 ba. Playing white music. Led Zeppelin was white music.
Springtime of my loving. The second season, I'm to know.
Hey.
You are the sunlight in my growing.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the program. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Listen to a little cover song of Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin. Where were you when you heard that song for the first time? Were you in a cradle? Or were you somewhere walking around and said, hey, I like that song? So welcome, everybody. Mark Scondi reporting. Hope you had a good weekend. And we're going to talk about this story caught my eye. I got to talk about it. If you're not aware, I'm also in a lawsuit involving racial discrimination in the workplace. I was doing a report over at the Brooklyn Hospital Center now almost 3 years ago. Case is still pending. But anyway, I have when I see these types of cases, I'm often concerned and interested, and why no one is really doing anything about it. But quickly, this is a story about a guy, principal of a college, of a high school. And he's forced into a critical race theory class where he has to sit there and digest black racism directed at him, the white guy, being accused of being a white supremacist, not being sympathetic to the black plight, the black efforts. And then he ultimately suffers emotional distress and kills himself, and this is all fine and dandy in the workplace. Now, it needs not be mentioned that if it were the other way around, if it was a white guy standing up there saying that blacks are dumber than whites and they can't get ahead because they're intellectually inferior and stupid, although they may jump higher and run faster, they're challenged into. And if a white guy would say something like that and say that that because you lack the ability to get ahead, then that would be overt racism. But if a black woman says you're inherently a racist because you look, here's the deal, right? The guy killed himself from distress, right? Distress of being accused of being a racist. Now, is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing to be called a racist in America? Why, yes, it is. It's detrimental to your reputation in the workplace, your reputation in the community. Hey, look, there goes the racist. It's a very bad thing to be called, that you dislike people because of the color of their skin. Now, 99% of America is not racist. There are some people that are overtly racist. But here's the problem with racism. Racism is not, I don't like you because of the color of your skin. I just like people with my own color skin better. Right? It's nature, blacks. It's birds of a feather. Why do you look and see a crowd of all blacks hanging out together? All not even color, but why do all fat people hang out together? Why do athletes hang out together? Why do rock stars hang out together? It's the birds of a feather flock together theory, right? And it's not a theory. You see it in action. People like to be the same. They like to be, it's a familiarity, right? That's not racism. Why are all the white people living in the middle of the country while the blacks live in the cities? Well, you could say blacks want to be together in the city, or you could say white people don't like us and they live in the middle of the country away from the blacks. That's your perspective. But the reality is that people, birds of a feather flock together. That we see that in nature. Certain types of plants grow together. It's a similarity. It's sameness. And that's all it is. That's not racism. It's not even, it goes beyond human nature. It's the law of nature. So, but in the minds of disgruntled, ignorant, lost blacks, and the people who pen the critical race theory that says all white people are inherently racist, and if they don't see it, then they are confirmed to be racist. In their mind, this is the natural order doesn't exist. So we'll talk about that. We'll also look at the markets. We'll break to the markets. Markets look like they're going to open up. Look at that. NASDAQ futures up almost a third of a percentage point, 46. Dow futures up 64. And it does look like we're going higher. Why did my screen pop out here? Why did my screen pop out? Yeah, so let's see. Let's get a little flash before we begin. Yeah, so everything is going up. Friday was a big day. Friday ended up almost quite a lot, about 3%. I'm looking at something different right here. But we'll look at the markets when we get to it. 9:30 New York time. It's 9:12 right now. That's my thumbnail right now. She said to the professor sitting in the class being force-fed critical race theory, in your whiteness, you think that you can tell me what's really going on for black people. All right? So because you're white, you can't tell what is going on for a black person. What about if you're a doctor? Can you tell what's going on for the patient? What if you're a pilot? Can you tell what's going on with the plane? Are you, because you're not the plane, or you're not, you know what I mean? Of course, you don't have to be, a doctor doesn't have to have had every single illness to see the illness in front of him. Right? He could diagnose without having experienced the illness. But for the black says is no, because you're white, you couldn't possibly understand blackness. Well, that's a fundamental, it's a flaw in perspective, right? People can see your suffering, right? People do know what's going on by your behavior. I was talking to a guy yesterday. He was seemed a little, I don't know, maybe a little uncomfortable. I was petting his dog, and he was trying to tell me how comfortable he is in his life and everything is wonderful. And I said, I know that because I could see your dog is very peaceful and very pleasant, and acclimates to people very well. I don't know your dog, and the dog is friendly. So that tells me that you're friendly to the dog. So I know you have a good heart, because if not, this dog would be an angry mother effer, trying to bite me and trying to growl and bark. When people have dogs like that, they're mean people. Right? It's not the dog. It's the dog is a reflection of the people. So it's easy to see. Right? If you're acting like a racist, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And if you're standing in the front of the class preaching black supremacy or black intellectual nonsense, right, that doesn't mesh with anything else that's going on in the world, it indicates that you might be a racist. You probably are, because you're bringing up race. Nobody else is. Nobody else in the room is talking about race but you. So it makes you the racist. So anyway, so we'll talk about that subject. I have a website, marksconti.com. It's not the only subjects I talk about. It's just, and the meme stocks. The meme stocks, oh my God, fucking, come on, man. I gave them all to you. I gave you Tilray. Tilray almost doubled from $1.66. It's like $1.40 now. $2.40, excuse me. And Rivian racing up. So you might make a lot of money too by joining us here. Rivian, look at this. Rivian, Tilray right now I think is 230. Let's see what it is. These are big moves. Look at this, up 11 cents again. Another 5% in your pocket. Huge run off the bottom, 166. Look at that run. It's jumping. Here we go. We're going higher. Look at that run, man. I had that shit right at 166. Look at that. Look at that go. Now, these are big rips. You say, well, it's only $2.37. Well, from $1.63 to $2.40, that's almost like a 40% of rise. 1,000 shares, you're up 400. You're up 600. 2,000 shares, you're up 1,200. 5,000 shares, do the math. You're up big. Right, on that simple investment, and it's not done yet. It looks like it really wants to go. So Tilray, marijuana meme stock. Congratulations to all the people that are in it and bought it and are holding and are taking the great leap forward. Welcome everybody in the chat. Weevil Girl in the house. Weevil Girl on the wrenches here. Jim Gerard, TJ, Vinny DiMartini in the house, licking his wounds. Vinny, be careful. Be safe. William R. Hall in the house as well. Mikhail Sly. What's up, Mikhail? My brother. Jason Horsley. Mikhail Sly, I think, had some bad news for us today, right? Yeah, I hear you. I hear what's happening with Mikhail. Mikhail is wrapped up in that January 6th nonsense and stuff. And cheeseburgers here too. So thank you everybody for joining me. We'll try to get through this on a Monday. I have a website and we're everywhere all the time, every morning at 9 a.m. Join us. So let's start here with this story. The DOJ tried to jail. Right? We live in a banana republic, if you haven't heard. The United States has turned into a banana republic where the both sides of the aisle are so blind and so fucking corrupt that they're trying to throw each other in jail. Right? They're trying to lock up Trump. Trump team that support Trump trying to lock up Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. A lot of trying to lock people up. In the old days, Trump just threatened to lock her up, but never did anything about it. But now they're really trying to lock people up. And here you go. Here's another example. Was it just coincidence, or is it interfering with witnesses? The DOJ interfering with witnesses. DOJ tried to jail key Hunter Biden witness Devin Archer on eve of congressional testimony. So Devin Archer is this gentleman right here. He was the best friend of Hunter Biden, and he alleges that he was in the room and has video and audio recordings of Hunter Biden calling Dada in the White House when he was vice president and putting him on speakerphone with foreign adversaries, foreign relations, trying to coerce a favor at a Dada by listening to these Chinese mostly and Ukrainian and Russian businessmen trying to make a deal in Burisma. And so he was set to testify in front of the House committee. And what do you know? He's already has 2 felonies hanging over his head for other things, of course. And they tried to lock him up before his hearing. This is banana republic shit, right? This guy is the DOJ. He's bringing evidence to the table that suggests that Joe Biden's DOJ is deeply corrupted and looked the other way, trying to give Hunter Biden a sweetheart deal with no precedence, right? You admit to tax fraud and a gun charge and get a misdemeanor and no jail. And in addition to that, I want blanket immunity to anything else I've ever done in my life. There's no precedence for something like that. And the House committee called out the prosecution, the defense on that, and the judge stepped in and ended it. But they're trying to throw this guy in jail before he even gets to the House. That's who you're dealing with. You know, you're dealing with highest level of government, where they are locking people up, locking each other up if you disagree with them. Right? And you know, and it seems the unfortunately liberal left is doing it in all their affairs. If you don't get the vaccine, you're fired. If you don't say you're a racist openly in your place of employment, then that makes you a racist. You are racist. It's bizarre and backwards and incorrect. But let's start the main story, right? So this Canadian principal, look, many reasons why someone might kill themselves. People commit suicide all the time. It's not just one incident. It's usually a chronic feeling of less than or something that makes you want to die. And you don't see a way out of it. But Canadian principal's suicide after alleged bullying for his whiteness in critical race theory training has sparked an investigation and lawsuit. So I've been in these think tanks, government think tanks. I worked for the city of New York, and I sat through them. And but not critical race theory. It was slightly before my time, where a radical black would come in and ask all the people in the room, are you a white supremacist, or these bizarre questions about race, right? Instigating a racial fucking conflict, right? And then ultimately, when you're wrong, and because she's standing in front of the class, the big fat black woman is standing in front of the class, who believes she has authority over everybody, then accuses you of white supremacy. Well, that's what happened to this guy, and it was so much that they smeared his reputation, which they did, and he decided to kill himself. So a Toronto school board and an education minister announced they are launching investigations into a professional development training. Professional development training. After a former principal died by suicide following a lawsuit in which he alleged emotional distress from anti-racist trainings and the fallout that followed. The session included concepts from critical race theory. So his name is Richard Bulksko, whatever, 60-year-old former principal. His lawsuit accuses the Toronto District School Board of emotional distress after being accused of being a racist. Being accused as a racist is bad, right? It's bad. It could get you hurt, right? People are fucked up, right? And they think now you're walking around with a racist label on your back because some jerk-off teacher in the school told you that because you don't conform to her beliefs, then you're a racist, right? You don't understand the plight of blacks. That makes you a racist. It's not always about you, black. That's what you got to understand. People are not always talking about you. People are not always referencing you in your everything. You are, right? You're the self-centered racist when you're doing that. So the 60-year-old principal disagreed with the instructor and challenged her comments. How dare you? He was condemned for appearing to undermine a black woman. You can't undermine me. I'm a black woman. Look at the Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Jackson Brown. Brown Jackson, whatever. The Jackson Brown, the sixth Jackson 5. She got her job through affirmative action, a black woman. You can't challenge her. You can't, because you're trying to undermine me. Any challenge to me, that's in her mind. If you challenge me, you're challenging my black womanness. That's crazy. So here's the dude, 60 years old. Poor guy, you know. Nobody wants to be in that case, in that situation. We are here, she said to him, we are here to talk about anti-black racism, but you, in your whiteness, think that you can tell me what's really going on for black people. Ojo Thompson said. That's her right there. There's the black racist. According to the lawsuit, Ojo Thompson was not directly sued by Blitzco. They sued the company. They sued the principal. Also alleged he was called a white supremacist for sharing his beliefs. Yeah. White privilege. That happened to me. Oh, you got white privilege. Get out of here. You're not allowed to report on this hospital. You got white privilege. The fallout from the training capitulated into further issues relating to the matter, and the family believes it was a hostile environment that took a serious toll on Bilksto's mental health. I'm sure people have killed themselves for less. I offer my heartfelt condolences to the family, says the educator. So it looks like there's a real, here she is. This is the racist. It decries the idea of succeeding by merit. Right? CRT, right? Critical race theory, says merit is a myth. Merit, meaning that if you work hard, you get ahead. According to critical race theory, that's not true. If you're white, you get ahead, and if you're black, you don't get ahead. But what about all those colors in between? What about the Chinese? What about the Indians, right? The fucking Indians and the Chinese, they own everything and buying everything, and they're everywhere, right? They're exempt from the theory. They're exempt from the natural law of nature. It's stupid, and it's short-sighted. It's your own garbage that you haven't dealt with. That stems back hundreds of years. It has nothing to do with the system or the people in it right now. It has to do with what's in your skull, and what's behind your skull. We know that anti-black racism is operating within education because of the outcomes we see in black students. So it's racism that causes the fucking kid to get an F instead of an A. That's racism. Not the kid's inability to, not the measure of the kid's intelligence, his ability to learn something, but it's racism. That's what critical race theory is all about. The dominance of whiteness is not natural, but the result of legacy. Equally, the subordination of blackness is also not natural. This is garbage right here. It's total fucking garbage. Let's listen to this. Here's a report by a couple of Canadian reporters.
Position, and he had a really good career working for the Toronto School District. And according to a lawsuit, Biltzco filed in court, his sin in the eyes of facilitators at the Kojo Institute was his questioning of their claim that Canada was a more racist place than the United States. Canada wasn't perfect, he said, but it still offers a lot of good. And for the rest of the training session and throughout a follow-up training session the week after, facilitators repeatedly referred to Biltzco's comments as examples of white supremacy. Can you imagine? And I just want to say, as a family, the woman, the commentator, if you haven't noticed, is a black woman, and she's actually sane and balanced, and for that she's going to be called a Uncle Tom, which means, oh, you're catering to the white view of the world. You're black on the outside and white on the inside. That makes you an Oreo cookie and a Uncle Tom. In her case, an Aunt Tom. You're Aunt Tom. That's what she's going to be faced with.
That's the type of attack she'll get because she's not towing the party line, the black toe. Right?
Much of my family came here through the Underground Railroad, which was through white people helping us come here to Canada, which promised our family freedom and gave that and delivered that and actually gave us free land to come here, up east in Nova Scotia and things like that, where streets are still named after part of my family. So how racist is that history? So to have
Mikkel points out, it makes a good point. Someone calls me fat. I'm not going to get upset because I'm not fat. Now that's a good point, right? It leans into the guy. Someone called him a racist, and he's not a racist. Why did he get upset? Well, I think it goes beyond that because of the situation. The circumstances are that even if I'm not a racist, I'm now accused of being this racist. It's not being a racist and being fat are not really the same. Someone could call you fat and you say, well, it's beautiful. Fat is beautiful. But when you're called a racist, it's very ugly. It's something deeper and uglier. Like you have some sort of hidden agenda behind your eyeballs. You're looking at me like I'm less than a human. I think there's a difference there, but I see a point. Why did the principal get so worked up about being called a racist? Because of the situation. It's a work situation, and his reputation is on the line, I believe.
Principal come out and say something that is true, that should uplift all Canadians and have us celebrate the great things like the example I just said that we've done. He gets vilified, gets called a white supremacist, and he, of course, was off of his job. And even after, of course, there's nothing to hold against him. So even after all of the retraining and everything, he never got his exact position back.
Yep.
It's so sad.
Yep.
Friends and family.
So his position was he got screwed. He got screwed because he disagreed with the black racist in the classroom and defended his country and his people.
And go on.
Two struggle sessions they submitted this man to. Two brainwashing sessions where they tried to gaslight this poor man into admitting.
Oh, did she say gaslight? They gaslighted the guy, right? You keep repeating the lie. If you don't know what gaslighting is, keep repeating the lie until the victim accepts the lie, right? And then you own them. You own them because they bought into this bullshit lie. And anything they say makes them a racist. It's really twisted. And to its defense, critical race theory started as a educational philosophical theory in the 70s, and there was some merit to it at that moment. But it became like more than that. It became policy. It somehow made its way into federal and government policy that America is inherently racist. And Trump, to his credit, Trump did a great job in exposing that. I talked about that every time Trump talked about it, where Trump was saying that we will not fund programs like this that promote the idea that America and the people in it are inherently racist. It's wrong. It's inaccurate. It's historically incorrect. Right? And it's not. There's no basis in it. There's no basis to say those things based on what's happening today. All people are relatively equal. And if you're just fucking stupid and you can't get ahead, it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. You're lazy. You're stupid. You will not accept the common. You have no common sense. You won't accept the common rules of the run of the land. Right?
That he was some kind of racist, that he was some kind of neo-Nazi, and they broke him.
I will get back to this in 1 second. I want to look at. Oh my God, Tilray up another 10 cents. Ding, we're open. We're open. We're open, and we're off to the races. We're off to the races. Well, okay, a kind of a little bump up this morning. A little bump up. S&P 500 S&P 500 up 4, Dow Jones Industrial Average up 16, and the Nasdaq is up 17 points. Not a giant run. Rivian pulling back a little bit. Tilray still up 8 cents. And the big news this week is going to be Apple. Apple's going to report their earnings this week. Flat right now, down a penny. Amazon as well is going to report this week, up 90 cents. There's a jobs report coming down the pipe sometime, I think it's Friday, and that'll rock the market on Friday. Microsoft down $1, Facebook down $2, Tesla down 65 cents. So we've got a mixed open right now in technologies. And yeah. Let's see what we got. I like this stock, this TQQQ. This is the NASDAQ, as I've said before, is the NASDAQ on steroids times 3. And it looks like we're going a little higher. It definitely looks like the selling pressure's off right now. There's not massive selling. Nobody's selling right now. What do we got? 25, 24. It looks like it's pulling back. So mixed open. Let's get back to racism in America and
Where are
Canada.
the consequences for these monsters?
Yeah.
There are none. In fact, they're saying, how dare you blame us for this man's death? Well, I do blame you. I do blame
Absolutely.
you. If this man was undergoing some sort of acute mental health crisis, you guys made it worse.
Yeah. Did the teaching cause a direct? Did it have a direct effect on the doctor? I gotta go with Mikkel on this one. I don't think that. I do think that the guy was a weak mind to allow him to kill himself over a bunch of fucking stupid racists. And maybe he shouldn't be a school principal. Maybe his calling was to expose the racism in the schools. He could have been a hero instead of he could have been the principal if he would have taken it a different way and used his distress and pivoted. He may have been a heroic figure in America. He may have been like, the lady who wouldn't get off the back of the bus or the front of the bus because she was black. Rosa Parks. This guy wouldn't budge on being called a racist because he's white. He could have been the next Rosa Parks, but instead he killed himself. So I do think I agree with that. The adversity, the obstacle becomes the way, not the way out.
And you pushed him over the edge. You owe his family and his community an apology, and you people need to reassess what sort of Mengele treatment you're giving to these people.
I think that's true. I think you owe the family something for the overt racism the guy experienced through the lawsuit. He filed a lawsuit, and I think he should win that lawsuit. But as far as saying that the black racist in the classroom caused his death, caused him to commit suicide, is a reach. I would agree. I agree that that's a reach.
Gaslighting them into thinking that there's something that they're not. How horrific. And yet they're still saying, don't use this man's death to impugn the good work that we're doing. We will know you by the fruits of what you've done. And I know exactly the kind of people they are. They still they don't even have a moment of introspection. The introspection they try to force on innocent people like this man, they don't even take that for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even stopping to say, what have we done here? My God, what have we done? They still aren't doing that.
No.
Cowards. Even if they are thinking that, they're not going to apologize.
They don't think it at all. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do. They say, oh, this is the way we get back at Whitey. It could be that. It could be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what these white people are saying. Look at the history. Look at the black people in chains. The way I feel is because it's your fault that I feel this way. It's your fault I feel this way. It's your fault. You made me go to Walmart and steal. Maybe that's what they, I don't give a fuck about that Wiley.
But they should, and they should set the way to change. These are the people educating the minds of the future with this trash. Canada is obviously not racist. That's why so many people come here from all religions, from all races.
Canada's not racist. The United States is not racist. No, there's no... it's not there. It's not there. Again, it's the theory of birds of a feather. Right? That's all it is. People like to be together. People like to have an ethnicity. Right? We're all Italian. We're all Dutch. We're all Moroccan. We're all Kenyan. People like that. Go to Kenya and you don't see any white people at the top of government. It's all black. Or Zimbabwe or fucking Ethiopia. Try to find one single black in government in Ethiopia or Kenya or Zimbabwe or fucking Congo. You're not going to find them. It's all family black. So is that racism? No, it's just that there's no white people want the position, so they're not there. They don't want to be around you. Historically, right? It's fucking hot and you're in the desert.
Nonsense. The family and friends, of course, are speaking out. They're saying the events that unfolded in 2021 weighed on.
So I think we got the gist of that one. I'm gonna kill it there. I gotta get back to this right here. I gotta get back. I gotta see what's going on, man. Why are we going? It's hard to say right now. It looks like we're going a little higher. It doesn't look like we have a run. We'll have to find out at 10:30 to see how the market really reacts to this new week, and we'll do that. So I'll see you guys, man. I'll see you next time. Mark Scondi reporting. Be well. It's only Monday, and relax, enjoy, breathe. Nice weather. 67 degrees in Northeast Pennsylvania. I'll say that again. It's 67. It was 58 this morning. And do I need to remind you? It's the dead of summer. It's July 31. It should be fucking 90. But we're getting a little break from the heat. And plants are loving it, man. Lots of rain this year. Lots of rain. Thank you, Mother Nature, for the rain. I haven't had to touch my hose in the whole month of July. It's been raining every day and every night. Not a lot, but enough to keep the plants happy. And me happy, too, because I go out there in the rain. I don't know what my neighbors think of me, or I don't even care. But when it's that heavy torrential rain, when it's like 85 and all of a sudden the sky opens up and buckets of water start falling, put your bathing suit on, man. It's 85 degrees. It's going to drop 10 degrees very quickly, but the rain is cooling, and it's wonderful, man. Being out in the pouring rain. I never had that. I never did that as a living in the city. I don't know why. I never had a backyard. But now that I have one, I can simply, when it starts raining, I step out into the rain in my bathing suit and try to stay out there a good 15 minutes and get totally fucking whitewashed or blackwashed, I should say, and then dry off, man. It's beautiful, beautiful times we live in. And take care of yourself like this. Is Kashmir. There's another Led Zeppelin cover. I don't know why we're playing Led Zeppelin, but it's good. I think it has to do with the chicks playing, man. Love the chicks playing. Here she is. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. Mm-hmm.